Hi guys, I'm Ram Agarwal. You are watching my channel 52 Pixels. Let's get started. Hi guys, in this tutorial we are going to see how to add realistic shadows on Photoshop. So earlier we have seen adding shadows. So basically we've seen adding shadows of two different kinds. One is using the burn tool and just drawing it using the burn tool, and second is using the effects icon and then going to the drop shadows to add minimalistic shadows to the text or objects or shapes, anything which you feel like. So in this tutorial we are going to see how to add realistic looking shadows in Photoshop. So to get started, what we are going to do is just go to text icon over here and just type in some text. So I'll type 52 pixels. So I've typed in my text. I'll just increase the size. It looks somewhat like this, and I'll place it in the center. So currently it looks like this, and using the burn tool, if we just add the shadows, so it will look like this. I'm not sure how it's gonna look, but let's try it out. So it's midtones, size is this, exposure is very high, and so I've just roughly added the shadow using burn tool. So as you can see, I have added the shadow, but it just doesn't feel normal, it doesn't feel realistic. It looks like it's edited. First thing, it's because the sun rays are coming from some other direction, shadow is on the other direction, and it just doesn't look that realistic. So I'm just going to undo it quickly. So I'll just take my text back to where it was. So as you've seen, burn tool doesn't work in almost all the cases. Now second thing what you want to do is just go to FX icon and select the option as drop shadow. So as you can see, a drop shadow has been added, but this gives it more realistic, like a 3D effect. It doesn't give it a shadow effect as proper effect. It just gives a kind of 3D effect. It feels like the text is just above the surface, and we don't want that in this case. We just want the shadow of the text in sync with the sun rays, right? So for now we're just going to click OK on this, and there's a small trick that we are going to do. So what we are going to do is just using this drop shadow layer, I'll just right click on it, and there's this option called as create layer. So not everybody has noticed this until now. So once you right click on this drop shadow, you get this option called as create layer. Basically what it does is just it creates a different layer. So as you can see, this is my shadow layer. I have created the layer of shadow. It's not as it was before. It's not embedded with the text layer. It's a different layer now, and it's independent, so we can do whatever we want with that. We can increase the size, or we can just change the layer positioning. We can do all sorts of things with that. So using this layer, what we are going to do is just go to edit and go to transform. There's this option called as distort. So using distort, what we are going to do is just flip the shadow over. So I'll just tap over here and just flip it over. So as you can see, I have flipped my shadow over, and now I guess it looks more realistic, because that's how shadows are. If your object is standing and the sun is behind, that's how shadows look, right? So it somewhat looks like this. Now to give it more realistic effect, as you can see, sun rays are coming, like they are going sideways as well. So I'll just shift it a little sideways using this corner picking tool. Same way with this one. So I have made my shadow a little realistic now. It looks like the object is standing, and then the shadow is casted very well. Now I can start working with the shadow. So I'll press enter. Now as you can see, the shadow is like too bright and it's too strong. We don't want the strength of the shadow to be so much. So what we can do is just go to opacity and reduce the opacity. For now I'll make it 79 or 80, and then we have all these blend modes we can work with. So we have all these other blend modes we can choose from. So hard light, pin light. Pin light looks good, but then I don't know, I don't like these modes. Overlay also look good, but as you can see, it's not giving much of an effect of a shadow. Still, if I try overlay and increase the opacity, it's gonna look like this. So I don't think so it looks good for me. I mean, it's up to you, it's your choice, but I don't like overlay much in this case. Multiply goes well. Multiply is a good option, and pin light. So it just we have to choose. I'll choose multiply, and then I'll reduce the opacity to around 80 or maybe 75. So my opacity is set to 75. The blend mode is multiply with the shadow, and we can do one more thing. We can just create a layer of this. So as you can see, I have created a layer, and we can just use this black color to just enhance. So I'm going to work with the mask, and as I've created the mask, I'll go to this brush icon and reduce the size to around 150. It's a soft brush, mode is normal, opacity is 35. I'll make it 50, nearly 50, it's 49, it's okay. And now I'm going to work with this layer, the mask. So as you can see, just bluntly reducing it so that it looks good. It doesn't look like it's subtle, and it always suits well because the opacity is down. And then we have used this effect, so you can always just try the brushes and masks because they help a lot. So just around the edges, somewhat like this. Now we can do one more thing. It's optional, it's not necessary to do that, but I feel like let's try that effect. So what we are going to do is just add the lens flare. So where is the lens flare? It's in render and lens flare. So my lens flare is here. How does this look? Not much. I'll again go to filter, lens flare. So it's a lot of experimenting. You have to do, like, you have to select what you want and will look the best on your image, and it's totally up to you. Then once you feel like you've got what you wanted, you can just hit enter and just save the image. So somewhat like this. I don't know if it looks good. I just cancel that effect and I'll go to layer, flatten image, and save this image. So well, that's it for today guys. Hope you liked the video. Make sure you subscribe to 52 pixels and tap on the bell icon to get notified. Thank you.